that Jesus is still king. He still reigns on the throne. Amen, somebody. I'm grateful because if some people were ruling our lives, oh Lord, have mercy, God. Whew. I just did a cross. Hallelujah. Thank you. So for my first point, I actually had a dream. And in this dream, there was an industry leader for a chicken chain. And what was interesting about it was that he sort of went undercover and went to some meetings in the automotive industry. And his observations, well, first of all, he said, "Are you hungry?" And I thought that line was weird. But as he began to break down the automotive industry reports, it sort of showed something like this. It showed revenue for 1 year in the past, and then it showed revenue being slightly higher for a year in the future, but what you noticed was that production was way high, much higher, and so pretty much it was killing a lot of the profits. And so one thing that God was sort of pointing at was that there will be a need to shift strategies moving forward, even in the automotive industry. But I don't want to focus on that part because later on, God highlighted more so the man asking, "Are you hungry?" And what I got was greed with meat will leave people in days ahead with rottenness in their mouths. What they had will go bad, like in the time of Israel when the meat and the manna began to stink. God said, "I will begin to deal with greed." And he raised the question, what are you hungry for? Number two, the Lord will judge and begin to break down this spirit of poverty over his people and bring breakthrough from chains. My third one is the Lord is opening up favorable trade agreements and strategic positioning for the United States. What are you hungry for? For corruption will begin to be exposed, even in the levels of government, business, and in the nations where people are still taking bribes and deals. I'll begin to unravel the cords as to this corruption that's moving about because it has come up to my nostrils and it stinks. Sex trafficking, it stinks. Fighting for your own positioning, this battling for positioning, it stinks in my nostril, and I will begin to elevate those that will humble themselves before me. Know that I have those in positioning that I desire, so do not begin to worry about who's in positioning, who's in government, who's fighting for my cause, because I, the Lord, will fight your cause. I am on your side. So don't worry about the lies in media. Don't worry about the lies that you're seeing perpetrated, because I will begin to expose those lies, and I will begin to use those people that I've strategically placed and use them for the benefit of my kingdom and for my people that are praying to me to see the United States come out on top. You will see my hand, and know that I will begin to deal with the spirit of poverty and the behaviors and mindset that have trapped many people to being poor, poor internally, poor in spirit, poor in relationships, poor. I am breaking down the chains and the walls that have kept out my floods that will fill the earth, and that will bring new relationships, that will bring love, that will bring prosperity, that will bring this rejuvenation in the relationships that needs to have, and that even needs to happen in the church. There's going to be a flood of my goodness that begins to come and break the chains and the walls that make us poor in these relationships. And know that I, the Lord, am opening up favorable trade agreements and strategic positioning for the United States. For even in East Asia, you begin to see my hand move because I've even placed the military strategically to be able to be flexible towards threats that are occurring. Even with Syria, even as there are still threats happening in the Middle East, I've positioned my people to be in place so they can be able to thwart different activities that would come unless the people did not pray. But because my people are praying, I've set things in motion. I've even set some traps and some exposures for those that would try to do harm even to the United States. To know that I'm opening up borders, even some of the borders for trade agreements with even Venezuela and back in the East. I'm opening up conversations even with Venezuela. Those are some of the things that are going to be happening even with the president and the government. Just these conversations with leaders towards the north part of South America, and expect better prices on crude oil even coming through this month. Even as you begin to see me work out agreements and things that are favorable for my people, expect favorable change.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Daryl. And next we're going to have